Well, there'll be children in the bed. There'll be some on the floor. There'll be some here.
Right.
But it'll be a little bit bigger than this now. This is a small one. But they're all weird now.
Do you remember we used to have the camp then outside for the boys?
The
The tent.
The tent will be for the boys.
Yeah.
The girls will be in the
Yeah,
bed.
I remember like my daddy we used to all sleep in there.
In under the bed.
5 of us sleep under the
Yeah.
bed. So how many you lads will slip under that bed?
Well, the boys now will be a bit bigger. They'll be in the tent.
Yeah.
The girls. There'll be 5 of them as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
There'll be more at the foot, more at the head.
Well, they were cosy homes, weren't they?
To go to bed, that's it. Sleep.
Yeah.
Cozy.
My name is Max Casey and I'm an activist. So I'm here right now in Cashel and I'm outside a wagon. I was actually born and bred in a wagon myself and you know, we're the indigenous people of this land. Unfortunately what you'll see now is the remaining couple here are the only people that are allowed, you know, that have kept their lifestyle in terms of a wagon because it's very close to spiritual and culturally for them. So Nelly, as long as I know you now, and I must know you 20 odd years,
Yeah.
and I'm always fascinated that you always said in the old wagon.
Ash, I love the old wagon.
Will you tell me a bit about the old wagon and what it means to you, please?
Well, it means a lot to me, man, because I was reared one. And it means more because my father used to build them. And he built them over here. That's down here. So it's kind of a tradition thing to us. We love the wagons.
What kind of comfort is in the wagon now?
Oh,
Nelly?
comfortable now, man. A lot comfortable and a trailer in the winter time. Warmer, drier. See, these don't split now. Trailer do. But they're grand in the winter time, they're warm and
Is it a close connection to your soul?
it is.
Tell us a bit about
Even
that.
to the family, the family love it. Although the houses and things then, we still love this.
Do you think they're not happy in them houses? Would you think they'd prefer wagons if they had a wagon?
Max, I don't know because the mall team's up here, the matter about this.
So it's very interesting that you say that. Like you have a big family and they still admire the
Oh,
wagon
really?
and they
Yeah.
love the wagon.
They love the wagon, yeah.
And you must have about 100 grandchildren.
Oh, more
And they
than-
never lives here.
No, they're always here. And the children's mad about it.
Do you feel disappointed that travellers have lost the
The
tradition?
culture, I do.
Tell us a bit about that, Nelly.
It's sad in one way because one time you see all travellers together, wagons, horses. You won't see them no more. You won't see one of these now anyone living in them. We're the only ones. Really, we are the only ones.
Why do you think that?
I don't know what happened.
Something happened.
Something did happen.
Happened along the line, you know, and it's so close to yourself and Willy that you still held on to this wagon.
Yeah.
So, tell us a bit about that.
It may look nothing to other people, but it means a lot to us. It's the way we were brought up, the way we lived. One time I lived here and you go up here and you see a load of those up the road, you won't see them no more. So we could go visit them here, up here. Loads of wagons and tents and shelter tents and they're gone. Everything's gone.
Are they, you know, I often know if I go on the iPhone and I start Googling,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, I see the wagons
You see a man going along the road.
in tourism place like Bunratty Castle and Limerick now. Settled people have bought these wagons, you know, and use it as tourism.
Tourists, yeah.
What way do you feel about that?
Well, you see, the different wagons now. This is a tourist wagon. This is an old one. That's a different one there. That one. But this is big, stronger. It's for hardship. It's for a crowd. Do you know what I mean? And it can go anywhere.
Would you rear a big family in that wagon?
I reared 8 sons, 3 daughters in a wagon.
Did you
A
know?
smaller one than this. Right?
I suppose as a traveller woman, it really annoys me that you actually pay now to go into tourist industries to look at a way of life that was our way of life in terms of wagons and, you know, you have horses and carts, you know, where settled people pay and to go into, and even travellers now are even paying to go in to look at their own traditional way of living. And that in itself is despicable. It's a huge insult to members of the traveller community, and I think it's an industry now for the wider settled society that it looks nice, but it didn't look nice when we lived in them. But Irish society need to cherish the way we live, our value system, our traditions. Like we were people that lived off the land. We were people that lived and born and bred in wagons, and now we actually have to pay to go into a museum to look at our way of life. I mean, that in itself sends a very clear message to the traveller community that you have no worth in Irish society, and that we see no place for you in Irish society. And they talk about multiculturalism, but in Irish society, what they did to their own indigenous people was despicable. They actually have a huge responsibility for a lot of the suicide rates that we face, the infant mortality rates, the whole purpose. Because as we spoke earlier on, Nelly and myself, the reason Travis had a purpose to live, that was work. Moving from place to place was work. Hunting off the land was a reason that we sought food. Gigging, hawking, they were our work. So they took that away, and they said that they were integrating us and assimilating us to be settled people when they'd done a huge amount of damage and never ever put alternatives to work with us, to hear what we wanted as a community rather than a settled message. And usually the settled message came across, we'll assimilate ye, we'll integrate ye, without even real consultation. And they didn't do that. Through the years when you were travelling, and it would have been travellers all over Ireland.
All over Ireland.
Would have met in wagons and
pulling
different parts of the country or whatever. How did that feel?
It was grand, Meg, because you always had company around. Now it's kind of changing, you have much company, much. You know what I mean? So you could go up here to this one, and again, that one, and again. Chat, talk, you won't see them no more.
You think travellers were more occupied years ago because, we were working people that time. We had to work constantly to be able to survive off the land or hawking and stuff like that.
They were really living from the land anyway. Yeah. Picking spots, filling bees. Then there were tinsmithing and scrap dealing and horse dealing. They were two dovey covers, and I opened them.
Right.
And I made the cotton with my
Did you, Nelly? Was that would have been the older travellers' way as well? Yeah. So did the traveller women do the inside of the wagon while the men built it?
So the cotton, that was it. To the sides, top, curtains, all handwork.
All the traveller women did that time.
All handwork.
And that's where you learnt that skill then to recoat the wagon. Yeah. Very lovely, I tell the truth. And very nice colours as well you picked out.
It was nice the first time now.
No, it's still lovely. It's good.
It was huge.
Over the years, we saw big changes within the traveller community. It led really, really difficult in terms of the assimilation policies, where they tried to fix us, make us like settled people. They've done an awful lot of damage to us because they've put us into halting sites, which is concentration camps in my view. And if you ask any member of the traveller community across Ireland, would they still like to be nomadic, they would. In the year 2002, they actually criminalised us for being members of the traveller community. And unfortunately, that had huge consequences for us because we were people of the land. We lived off the land. Our nomadic way of life meant that we had a purpose to live every day. So we had a route plan of travelling across Ireland. And because of that policy, that actually had a huge effect on our health statistics, our outlook in life, and I suppose it actually tore our soul from us one way or another. Because if you look at many of the travellers that are living on haunted sites or houses now, they're not happy because they don't have a purpose to live and survive. And I know the wagons, this is the last remaining couple to still live in a wagon, and you can see that that's very close to their heart. And I actually can understand that, why it is, because, they still hold that spiritual values system that actually is unique to be able to be proud of their identity and culture. And I think most travellers are proud of their identity and culture, but because of government policy in terms of assimilation actually destroyed travellers. And I think it's about time now that politically that we look at that and undo a lot of the damage that has been done to us. It is a political issue. I think most people are aware in Irish society that it is a political issue, and I think that has to change.
Really, we're on the road because they wanted the road. That's they want to live in the haunted sites. So now the families are rare, it's all different, it's all changed. Big difference, like. It was my time. But we're on the road to the good life. You have good times and bad times. Through tough and thin. Live through that's all with you.
Nelly, a message that you'd like to give to all the travellers in Ireland about pride, what would you say?
Well, about the young people.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I tell them is to live up the way I live. Keep up to the standards of life. Know how to live. Know what to do for themselves. So they'd follow up the culture. They'll never forget that. They can't. They're rare that way. That'll be their life up. They'd never be stuck because they lived up that life. With settled people, it'd be different. They wouldn't be able to come back to stand there. Like, it's a mine over here now is different. If they have no gas, they light the fire and boil the kettle. So would I. Yeah. And it's the way it is. So I think it's a good way to be because you know how to survive. You know?
As one of the last travellers to still live in a wagon, how do you feel when you see settled people freely going up the road in wagons and taking our culture and never being stopped by the guards? How does that make you feel?
I feel very bad about it, to be honest, because that was our life. So someone else has taken our life, taken our culture from us. And look at it, and it was sad.
I think for them to make a tourist industry, Martin, out of our culture is despicable. They're hypocrites because they call us dirty, lazy, our IQ is low, and then to turn around and steal every enterprise that we actually ever had as a community, and even use our way of life, our traditional way of life, and make a business out of it. I mean, what kind of a message do that send to our young people? We're proud, dignified travellers, and we'll remain proud and dignified, and there's no one or nothing going to take that away from us. I would send a powerful message out to our community right now. Be proud and be dignified of the people that ye are. Hold on to every tradition that you possibly can and embrace your culture and traditions.
And live with it and keep it up.
Go on, our Nelly!